Jamie Clark, it's a privilege and a blessing to be able to get to meet you and congratulate you on your participation in Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends and Legacies.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm honored.
Beautiful. So what led you to say yes to contributing to this chapter and participating in this big project?
Well, with my own life experience and putting some of the tools and techniques that I share to the test, I'm able to connect with other people who have had their own life experience in a spiritual way. And we've been brought together through this beautiful book to share these tools and techniques, to share these life experiences that maybe we can help others to help themselves. Then it's from more of the empowerment. And when we can do that, it becomes a little bit easier to live life rather than survive it.
To thrive instead of just get
Oh,
through the
take a
days.
dive,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you obviously have quite a passion, that big I behind you, and I believe that says evolution.
Yes, ma'am. Psychic Evolution. It's a podcast that we have, and we share tools and techniques. We want to put the practicality of spirituality for people to be able to fit this insight and these tools and techniques into their life so that they can become even more empowered and live life. That's when it's an experience, is when we could bring in other guests, other people to share other perspectives. And sometimes just to give them a different way of seeing things, not always better or worse, but different.
Different.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, go ahead.
What happened? What led you to your passion?
My whole life. At 5 years old is when I was activated spiritually. And my mom was an amazing psychic medium. I got to grow up in a home where it was completely loved and embraced. A lot of other families may not have that luxury of being able to be the freedom of who they are and what they're expressing. And so for myself to be able to have 20 great years to study with my mom, it gave me a lot of insight. It gave me a lot of comfort as well to work with these spiritual things so that it wasn't scary. It was empowering. And to see my mom in action, just being her, gave me a lot of self-realization. Go, man, every person she walks away from seems to feel differently. And I would see that a lot. And I go, Mom, do you even know these people? She's like, no.
No.
And it was always comfortable. There was no weird stuff. I always appreciated the genuine sincerity. And when I could learn from her just by her actions and the experiences that would come from those actions, and in this case, connected with other people who she didn't know until that very moment, were able to leave her presence more empowered and self-realized. And that was my high, because I
Beautiful.
wanted to help others, but I first had to be able to help myself so that I'm not a hypocrite. We can do that, then it's okay to help others and ourselves. More self-love, realization, communication, and compassion, no longer narcissism, self-realization. I cannot give what I do not have.
Oh, that is beautiful because, I think our world is changing so much, and there's been a lot of things that caused the change, but it's been a great wake-up call to have people really stop and take a look.
Huge.
Are we just running in this fast-paced life of got to go to this event, got to go do this, got to go do that, and we're never home with our families and not taking care of our, really knowing how our children learn or operate, or how our spouse gets, really thinks and feels, and even ourselves, because we don't have the time.
Yes, ma'am. I take the time.
Yes.
That eternal moment lives into the next moment. And when people can see it's okay to help yourself, because I thought you're supposed to help everyone else and not you. And you're like, well, not quite like that. But when they can see the practicality of spirituality, to go, you're nourishing yourself so that you don't feel left out. On one, I cannot share what I do not have. Two, I no longer survive life. I live it. And if I can help other people just by being me, not putting on airs or any of that, just doing me, but others to help themselves, going to be a better place. And I've always said, nobody needs to be fixed. Nobody needs to be saved. Just showing that power within, become more self-realized and begin to live life more than survive it.
Truly awesome. So, what is the name of your chapter for this book?
It is The White Rose.
The White Rose.
Yes, ma'am. And it was something that I needed to know was real in this creating and co-creating with the universe, because I grew up in a beautiful home with my mom, but there was not a lot of money. And it was very challenging to be positive when I felt like I was surviving all the time. And when I put it to the test, I was like, well, wait a minute. If I'm working with an unlimited, unconditional universe, God, then I should be able to have enough for me and other people. And so I said that morning, I want to put this to the test, universe, because I am not going to say a word to anybody else. You can get this to me, my validation. By the end of tonight, I will know this is real and I will shout it from the rooftops. Because that morning I said, my life is changing one way or another by the end of this evening. Oh, I was
Wow.
so done being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it gave me that
I get
opportunity.
that.
Yeah, I needed to put this to the test so that I had the firsthand experience and that I could get a gauge on how that played out. Here was my parameters, didn't say anything, nothing in that way. Let's see you get that to me. And thank you that I've received it. So I no longer saw it as someday. I accepted it as already now attained. That way I had that connection to go, instead of seeing I'm going to try to work to get something, I just bring it to me already as attained. And then I have that vibration of success, happiness, fulfillment that I can compare to each person's circumstance and experience, going, hey, you know what? You're vibing like this. Let's have some fun. Or not a chance. That doesn't
We're
even
not
feel
going
close
there.
to this. Right. You get that energy connection, and it's all energy. And when people can see you can work with energy and filter it through not only your life, but the oneness and those who even choose to vibe with it, because I send that energy out unconditionally. I'm I'm lazy. To me,
I
it takes
can feel you vibrating.
yeah, and it takes no more energy to send it to one person than to the all that is. I send it to the all that is, everywhere, nowhere, everywhere in between, everywhere and beyond, for those who even choose to act upon that. I
How
always wanted to make
beautiful.
sure, yeah, that it was offered. They didn't have to choose it. I didn't want to make people do stuff. I wanted to give them a chance to allow themselves to live.
Beautiful. So, your podcast, the name of it, and um, what is your reach with your podcast? How is it? How's that coming along?
We're doing okay. The name of our podcast is Psychic Evolution, as I share, where we give tools and techniques. And we're almost at about 150,000 downloads. So we've got a good start going on. And this is season 6, and we're going to keep going. But it's great if we can share our life experience and different tools and techniques that people can put to themselves and put it to test. Then they get the end result, and it's a lot more solid. Then more than likely they'll be willing to work with that information and that approach. So I'm saying be versatile. As long as it's feeling good, keep going. If not, change it. Give
Yes,
yourself the
absolutely.
opportunity. Yeah. I had to give
Beautiful.
myself, right? Because you know what? I could get frustrated. And then I started giving myself to do the best I could with where I'm at. That took me off the stress level to go, I always have compassion and patience for other people. I better make sure I have it for myself too.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
So
it's
true.
yeah, when
Yeah.
they can see you're living your truth in whatever way and that you're doing it nicely and that fits into your life, not you're freaked out, they're like, ooh, I kind of like that
I
energy.
think I
And
want to do that myself.
exactly, not making them, but allowing them if they even choose. We just have to do the best we can to become our own example, our own opportunity of living life.
Beautiful. Well, it's an honor to meet you. I'm looking forward to connecting with you further because I do have a lot of authors that I work with that bring.
Yes.
I have one that's a rocket scientist who works at NASA, and she believes that spirituality and science go hand in hand.
Yes.
And she is
Yes.
absolutely amazing. She's so her book launch is about a month away. So
Excellent.
yeah, we're just working through. It'd be some great connections.
Well, yes, ma'am. And that's why I do a lot of scientific studies. I've done many studies at the University of Arizona, Gary and Rhonda Sports in Tucson, Arizona. And we are now scientifically, just like you said, and this gentleman said, that spirituality and quantum physics is now spiritual physics, unification, not separation. And when
Her
we can
book is
get,
called The Quantum Human.
oh, beautiful, great. And so when we could get into that scientific methodology to a certain extent and put some parameters around this, it becomes a little bit more easy to understand instead of, and it's all, yeah, yeah, it is all energy and love. However, can we fit this into our life so that we can function and live from that vibe, not just always seeing it as outside of us, but it is all within and then reflects without?
Beautiful. What an honor to be able to interview you for this today. I've had fun with all the authors. We're all just kind of going through it to the next few weeks and getting these interviews for the book. I look forward to meeting you in person and thank you for a very beautiful interview.
My honor as well. Thank you for having me in this great book.
You're
We'll be
welcome.
talking soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.